Plotinus because he believes it raises his stature in the Senate to be viewed as a patron of a philosopher. The beneficent Castricius, she said with mock grandiosity, patron of a great philosophical mind. She sat back, straightened the food on her plate. Of course, he'd never let it be known what he really thinks of Plotinus. Amphiclea leaned closer, unable to keep from taking the bait. Why? What does he think of him? He thinks he's absolutely mad, Amphiclea. Yes, of course he does. She should have known, given how often she'd listened to Gemina complain about Castricius in the 2 years since their marriage. The senator was not an open-minded man, and though he was hailed for being a shrewd and ruthless politician, such qualities left much to be desired in a husband. To be fair, he had seemed fond of Gemina during their courtship and in the early days, but when she'd borne him a daughter, little Gaia, he'd been furious. More than a year later, he still hadn't forgiven her for the transgression. Gemina straightened herself in her chair. Both were 17, but today Amphiclea felt much younger than her friend. What my dear husband doesn't know about Plotinus, Gemina continued, is that on Sunday last he witnessed Castricius leaving the bedroom of the same woman who accused my poor father of forging Senate documents. Lucretia Justa! Amphiclea exclaimed with a start. She nearly had your family banished from Rome. Amphiclea held a hand up to her mouth. Is this... She couldn't finish the thought because it could only lead to one place, a place where Gemina would be taken from her forever to pay for the sins of her father. The accusations against Gemina's father had been the scandal last winter. All of Rome had gossiped about the charges, ultimately proved baseless, but Gemina's family name nearly had been ruined, and the taint remained. Amphiclea knew that some still believed the claim to be valid, though most thought only that Lucretia Justa was a wicked, vengeful woman. It was hardly a secret that Lucretia had wanted Castricius for herself, and that she'd been furious when Gemina's father had arranged for Gemina to be his bride instead. How could he? Amphiclea whispered. Gemina grimaced. Oh, don't be so naive. What man could resist a woman who is so desperate to have him? She waved away Castricius's infidelity as if it were a bug. I care not what he does in her bedroom. He only married me because of my father's fortune. She lowered her voice, her dark eyes flashing with anger. But he appears to be taking money meant for me and for Gaia, from the dowry given to him by my father, and giving it to that lying wench of a woman. Amphiclea swallowed. You truly believe that he's stealing from you? I know it. But can you prove it? Not yet. The proof I need is in the Curia, where the Senate meets and where Castricius keeps his ledgers. It would be impossible for a woman to be seen sneaking around there. Of course, if I were a man, I could find what I needed without arousing suspicion. Amphiclea blinked, fighting back the fear and sadness. And if I were a cat, I could lie around all day and do nothing but drink milk. To her surprise, Gemina laughed. Yes, she conceded, but you can't become a cat, and I can become a man. Amphiclea searched her friend's eyes for the hint of a prank, as was Gemina's way. All she saw was icy resolve. And how do you propose to do that, exactly? She asked in a teasing tone, ignoring the shudder down her spine. Gemina stared back. I told you that Plotinus is going to teach me how to project my soul, but not through the Oculus. He's going to teach me to project my soul into his body. My mind, my consciousness, will inhabit him like a crab in a shell, and his will inhabit me. We're going to trade our souls, Amphiclea, but we can't do it without your help. Amphiclea went pale. Gemina, you are like a sister to me. I would help you with anything, but this...